It's Lou from Louder with Lou, and thank you for coming back or joining me in another episode. And today's episode is going to be about how to be a licensed lash artist, or I guess which licenses qualify to have your lash extension license. So, I'm going to start off with having your cosmetology license. You need 1,000 hours in order to get that license, and with that, it goes hand in hand with hair coloring, cutting, shampooing hair, styling. You can even do nails with this license. You can do lash extensions. You can do waxing. I feel like you can pretty much do it all with that license, just a cosmetology license. And so, yes, that one you can do lash extensions with that license. Then we have the barber license. And that one, you can't do lash extensions with that one. So I know there's girls that, want to be barbers and stuff. And sometimes they want to switch off to lash extensions, and you can't. You need two different types of licenses. And with that one, just goes hand in hand with a trim, cut, shaping, and using scissors, razors, clippers, combs. You can even do like facial hair maintenances, but not like a facial, custom shave, grooming. And with that license, you need 1,000 hours. And so pretty much it's kind of similar to cosmetology. And I know there's a type of program where you can even kind of join them in together. And maybe that's like the only way you could do cut somebody's hair, or, be a barber and still do lash extensions. But that's only if you like do that program where you can do those two licenses together. Then the next one we have is aesthetics. And with that license, you can actually do facials, you can do waxing, sugar waxing, threading. And with waxing, it includes like the whole body, facial, and also you can do lash extensions. That's actually the license that I have. I went in with aesthetics because I didn't want to do cosmetology, because in cosmetology, you have to go through all the steps of like coloring, teaching you how to style hair, cutting, and all that. So that's why I leaned more towards aesthetics, because it's more facial treatments than anything. And also even facial, not facial, I'm trying to say like a back facial, arm facials, and kind of like things like that. So, and you can also do lash extensions with that. I feel like most schools don't really teach lash extensions. So if you are wanting to focus on that, your best bet is probably finding a school that focuses on lash extensions if you really want to learn lash extensions, or at least the basics of it. Because whenever you focus on getting your cosmetology license or esthetician license, they go in debt with they cater more to those other things. And that's just the way it's always been. So whenever I went to go get my aesthetics license, I literally learned nothing of lash extensions. I was doing it on the side, but I didn't learn anything from aesthetic school for lashes. I learned how to do waxing. I learned how to do facials, all of that. It was still really nice, because at some point I thought I wanted to do facials, but your best bet is just going to a lash school for it. And for the aesthetics license, you need 750 hours to get that license. So you need to go to school. And usually that probably takes about, I want to say 6 to 9 months. I think our school gave us about 6 months to complete it, but I finished it in 5 because I like being competitive and I wanted to be the first one to finish in my class. So yes, you can do lash extensions with your esthetician license. Now, there's another license that has esthetician or aesthetics and manicurist. And with that, you can do nails, and you're also an esthetician, but that requires 1,200 hours for you to get your license. So, I guess if you want to do nails and lashes, or also do facials, then that's the best choice for you. That one just, I mean, it takes longer. It's even longer than cosmetology. Um, so that's an option. And with the esthetician and manicurist license, you can do lash extensions, but only because you included the aesthetics program. If it was just a manicurist license, it would not apply. So the next one is nail technician license. Now for that one, you need, I believe, like 600 hours to get your license. Not a lot. It's actually less than, an esthetician. And with that one, I mean, it's only nails, clean file, trim, polish, repair fingernails, and toenails. And pretty much applying artificial nails or moisturizing hands and feet. You can do like little massages with that, but just like on the feet or hands. And that's it. So just manicures and pedicures. So with the nail technician license, you are not able to do lash extensions with that license. So don't get that one. And the next one, it is, yes, the laser hair removal license. I also have that one because at some point I thought I wanted to do it, and maybe I still do in the future, but for right now, I don't want to. But I have that license too. And the laser hair removal license, with that one, you don't need your aesthetics or cosmetology license in order to get this license. If you just want to do laser hair removal, you can go ahead and do it. But you can't do facials. You can't do any hair cutting or anything of that. But what you are able to do with the laser hair removal license is pretty much like skin resurfacing services. And all you need is 40 hours of like taking a course or just having education. So it doesn't take long. The program that I took, it's called NLI, National Laser Institute here in Dallas. And I was only in that program for 2 weeks. And I believe like all you need is 100 body parts to laser and just 40 hours of school. So it's an easy way to get your license also for laser hair removal. And you don't need any of these other licenses to do it. And also with this, I feel like it gives you more of an opportunity if you want to work more in a med spa. It's a way to open up the doors for that, or working for a plastic surgeon, so things like that. So with this license, you aren't able to do any lash extensions. You cannot do that. So, for example, me that I have my aesthetics and I have my laser license, I am able to do both, but that's because, I have 2 licenses, not just one. So the last license that I know of, and this is all in Texas, y'all. So if you are listening to me from any other state, like besides Texas, just out of Texas, even the U.S., this does not apply to you. I don't know, or maybe it does apply to you, but I don't know how many hours they require. I know in every state for TDLR, it's different. So it only applies if you live in Texas. So don't come for me and then say, I told you wrong, just in case. But wanted to get that cleared up. And the last license I know of is the lash extension specialty license. And that is just if you want to focus on lash extensions. Let's say you don't want to go through the whole aesthetic cosmetology program in order to do lash extensions. You can just go to a school. Now in the state of Texas, I think we're like the first ones to ever even have that option. And that's such a cool option. Honestly, I think I would have done it maybe 3 years ago when, I went to aesthetic school, but we still didn't have that. That's probably only like 2 years that it's new. So with this license, you only need 320 hours. You need 320 hours to get your lash extension license. And there is so many schools here around Dallas if y'all are looking for that option. And with that one, you can only do lash extensions. That's it. If you are wanting to do brow waxing, body waxing, just anything out of lash extensions, you're going to have to go get that aesthetics license or that cosmetology license. So this one's just good. I mean, if you really are that artist that just wants to focus in lash extensions, then I would say go for this one. And I mean, you can finish it within like 10 weeks, no more than like 3 months. Okay, now that I've gone over all the different types of licenses that you can't or can do with lash extensions, um, I want to go over the difference between a certificate and a license. So I know whenever I started doing lash extensions at first, I would hear people tell me, like, oh, you need a license to do that. But I was like, I see girls doing lashes and they don't have a license, so, and they have a certificate. So that's whenever I started like looking at classes and things like that. And I'm like, oh, like I can just get a certificate instead of a license, and I can start lashing, and a certificate, I can get it within 1 to 2 days, depending how long the class is. And let me tell y'all, a certificate, it's going to get you nowhere. So if people are telling you like all you need is a certificate to do lashes, they're lying. Yeah, you can do lashes, of course. You can do whatever you want. But if TDLR or somebody reports you to TDLR and they come to you and they end up finding out that, you don't have a license, you can get a fine for that. So, and also you're risking of them not even letting you get a license after finding out. So you don't want to do that, guys. I had a certificate at first and I thought I could lash. And then once I started doing more research on my own, just on Google, that's when I realized, I'm like, oh shit, like I actually need a license to do this. And then that's when, I decided to go to aesthetic school. So it's fine if you want to get a certificate with somebody, but the certificate, you take that class just because you're wanting to learn that person's technique and what they do and just how they do it, whatever service they're providing to you. But always make sure that when you're taking that class, it's not to get a certificate, to be able to do that service. It's just because you want to learn from them and you want to maybe some way, somehow incorporate whatever they do into your new set or your new services. So you need a license in order to do lash extensions in the state of Texas. So don't believe with the certificates. I know I have a lot of certificates, but it's just because I want to learn from other people and their techniques. So now, if you want to become an educator, for example, just like in the beauty industry, like, with hair, waxing, lash extensions, anything, now in the state of Texas, you are able to, become an instructor pretty much whenever you want, as long as you have your license. And maybe like a year or two ago, you needed an educator's license, and I actually went to school to go get my educator's license. And now TDLR took it off. So, I mean, I pretty much wasted my money there. But whatever, at least I did the program, and I was I was doing more with it, or I thought I was. But so yeah, if you do want to become a lash educator, that's fine. You can go ahead and teach. Just make sure you tell students, like, hey, I'm not giving you a license. I am just certifying you in whatever I do and just my technique. Um, just because, you don't want to lead people in the wrong direction, and eventually they will find out. So always, if you do get students, wanting to learn your technique, always recommend them to a school, just letting them know, like, eventually you do want to grow, and I mean, you need that license. And I know it's just a paper, but you need it, and you may do, how do I say, like, you may be good already, and you don't need a license to prove that, you are good, or that you are, that you know how to do lash extensions. But it's just better to get it in the long run for your business. Okay, guys, before I forget to mention, I almost forgot about this one. So in a way, it does have to do with, all the licenses with TDLR, but then again, it doesn't. And the reason I am mentioning it, it's because there is lash artists out there that actually do lash extensions, and they also do PMU, which is permanent makeup. And there's artists out there that do both of them, and that's fine. You can do both of them, but just know if you are going to be doing permanent makeup and then lash extensions, that the license you need in order to do permanent makeup falls under tattooing. So, or tattoo license. And that has to do with the state health services. So I think you can look it up under statehealthservices.com um, to get your tattoo license, or at least in the state of Texas. And that falls under PMU. So just because you have your license in that, you aren't able to do lash extensions. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to do permanent makeup, you're going to have to get another type of license, and another type of license if you want to do lash extensions, and pair those up. So with that being said, guys, I highly recommend getting your license. It is an investment. I believe like you only have to pay like a fee in the beginning, to get it. Or sometimes the school will actually provide or like pay for it. If you pass like your state board exam, and then you get your license, and then they'll cover the pricing. But in the long run, it's going to be so much better. You don't have to worry about somebody reporting you, and then you not being able to back yourself up and knowing you are a service provider, a licensed service provider, and you don't have to worry about like any fines or anything. And one school I would say, like, just for me to recommend out there or anything, if y'all are wanting to look for a lash school and y'all don't know, or just any other school, I would recommend, I guess, Aveda in Dallas. I really liked it. That's where I got my aesthetics license. But I didn't learn anything lash related. They mainly focus on facials, and it's more on the, how do I say it? Environmental, organic type of facials and things like that. They're very earth friendly, which there's nothing wrong with that. But that school is really good too if you want to learn how to wax. And just know they won't teach you anything like about lashes. You're gonna have to do that on your own. But if you are looking for your aesthetics license, that is an option. And if you are looking for just like lashes, just your lash extension specialty license, I would highly recommend Glow Artistry Studio. So that is my friend, but that is her school, and or it's Glow Artistry. Y'all, I looked this up so I wouldn't forget. So her page is Glow Artistry Studio, but her school is Glow Artistry Studio Academy. There you go. I was off by one word, guys. But I believe she opens like next week, or by the time y'all be hearing this episode, she is opened already. So definitely check her out on Instagram, and that is a place where I know she will teach you what you need to know to do lash extensions. And it's just a lash extension program, so just 320 hours. And I believe she's also providing the aesthetics program. So now you have two options. You can either do either or, but that's another place where you can get your aesthetics. And I just wanted to say, everything y'all are doing, even if you're not licensed, just make sure that you are doing, I guess, what's right in like your work scope of work. Just make sure you are doing it good, and make sure that eventually you do decide to get your license. And I'm not trying to bash anybody, because for literally almost 3 years, I didn't have my license. I literally didn't get my license maybe till like a year ago. And I was lashing for 2 years without a license. And I really, like, nobody ever asked me when they would come get their lashes done if I was licensed. I guess everybody just assumed. But that's just because I learned so much. And also, I mean, I did learn at school how to clean everything and disinfect, sterilize. But I just never went to go get my license. Because, guys, I failed that test like 7 times. And one of them was because I fell asleep. The other one, honestly, I wouldn't study. But, yeah, it took me 7 times to pass that test, but I got it. And yeah, I was lashing without a license. So I know it can be kind of like, in a way, stressful. For me, it was, just because every single time I would fail and I would be like, but why? But it's because I wouldn't study, and I'd still be like, but why? And I'm so glad, like, after I took it, I'm like, damn, I should have just done this right after I graduated school. So that's another thing that people do. They take, the program, and they'll finish their hours and not take their license or the state board exam to get your license. So make sure you get that license as soon as possible, regardless. If you don't have it right now, I mean, I hope that you are doing a great job and, just trying to stay clean as possible with everything. But in the long run, you need it and you might as well just get it. So thank you for another episode here on Ladder with Lou. And I will see y'all on the next one.